What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into everything Dallas Cowboys. Before we get into today's exclusive news about John Stevens' injury and some big discussions around our wide receivers, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated with the latest on America's team. Every like and subscription helps us keep bringing you the best Cowboys coverage. Now, let's jump into some important updates that will impact the rest of our season. First off, let's talk about the heartbreaking news surrounding our tight end, John Stevens. During practice on Wednesday, Stevens suffered a knee injury that has now been confirmed as a torn ACL, his second in as many years. This is a tough blow, both for the team and for Stevens, who is working hard to make his mark on the Cowboys roster. Head coach Mike McCarthy didn't hold back on his feelings during Thursday's press conference, calling the injury a setback for a player who had shown incredible promise. McCarthy said, "I'm very disappointed. You could feel the energy sucked out of practice when it happened. John is a young man with a very bright future, but this is just another setback, unfortunately." Stevens, who initially played college ball with TCU before transferring to Louisiana, went undrafted in 2023 but was signed by the Cowboys as a free agent. He was considered a potential sleeper in the tight end room, especially after the Cowboys' success with developing young talent at the position. Even though Stevens hasn't yet played an NFL snap, there was excitement building around his progress in practice. He'd worked tirelessly to recover from his first ACL injury and was on track to earn more opportunities after the bye week. Sadly, now he'll face another long road of recovery as he prepares to go through rehab for the same knee. He's expected to land on injured reserve soon. For those of us who have followed Stevens' journey, this is a real punch to the gut. He's shown a lot of grit, and it's tough to see a young player go through such a challenging injury, especially twice. Now, let's switch gears and talk about the wide receivers, because this has been a hot topic for Cowboys Nation lately. During the bye week, our offense has been scrutinized from top to bottom, and one of the loudest voices has been none other than Cowboys legend Troy Aikman. Aikman didn't hold back when he called the wide receivers route running lazy, and, to be honest, a lot of people agreed with him. Even former Pro Bowl lineman Nate Newton said that the receivers were playing selfish football, and now ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky has broken down the film to show exactly why Aikman was right. Orlovsky, with the help of Harry Douglas, analyzed a few plays from our 49-7 loss to the Detroit Lions, highlighting the issues with our wideouts. Let's break down some of the key moments they focused on. 1. CeeDee Lamb's route running. On one play, Lamb was supposed to run a slant with plenty of space to work with. However, instead of using that space, Lamb ran straight into the defender and got caught up in hand fighting. Orlovsky and Douglas pointed out that this should have been an easy, quick route, but Lamb didn't take advantage of the room he had. 2. Miscommunication between Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. On another play, Lamb had a choice to either run an outside route or go deep. He chose to run the go route, but it was the wrong decision based on the coverage. Dak threw the ball where Lamb should have been, and the result was an incomplete pass. Orlovsky said this was a clear example of Dak and Lamb not being on the same page, something we've seen too often this season. 3. Cavani Turpin's missed opportunity. On a critical 4th and 2 play, Lamb was double covered, and tight end Jake Ferguson couldn't shake his defender. This left Cavani Turpin as the primary target, but Turpin failed to sell his route. He didn't fool the defender, making it impossible for Dak to complete the pass. Douglas mentioned that Turpin should have created more separation by selling his route better, which could have opened up a window for the catch. The good news? The Cowboys have acknowledged these issues, and this week, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb have reportedly been focusing on improving their chemistry. This is exactly what we need, especially as we prepare for the upcoming Sunday night football showdown against the San Francisco 49ers. We all know how crucial it is for Dak and his receivers to get on the same page. This miscommunication can't continue if we expect to make a serious run in the playoffs. Lamb is our #1 receiver, and if he's not delivering or making the right reads, it affects the entire offense. When Cowboys legends like Troy Aikman and Nate Newton speak out, we have to listen. These guys have seen it all and won it all. Aikman was right to point out the issues in the passing game because, let's be honest, the wide receivers haven't been pulling their weight. The Cowboys' offense has always relied on precision, timing, and execution. When receivers aren't running sharp routes or when Dak doesn't trust where they'll be, the offense stalls. We can't afford that, especially not in a tough NFC that's filled with contenders like the Eagles, 49ers, and Lions. So, Cowboys Nation, what do you think? Can John Stevens bounce back from another ACL tear? It's tough to see, but we've seen players recover from these injuries and come back stronger. Let's hope the same for Stevens. And as for the wide receivers, do you think Troy Aikman was too harsh, or was he spot on? Should we be worried about the lack of communication between Dak and his receiving core, or do you believe they can work it out before Sunday's game? One thing's for sure, the Cowboys can't afford any more mental errors. If this team wants to be a contender, everyone from Dak to the tight ends and receivers needs to step up. It's not just about talent. It's about execution and discipline. First off, let's talk about Dak Prescott. It's no secret, if this team is going to succeed, Dak is going to have to put on the cape and play like Superman. Now, is that fair?
No.
But it's the reality of where we are right now. The Cowboys have the worst rushing attack in the NFL, averaging just 77.2 rushing yards per game. Let that sink in for a second. For a team that has long prided itself on being a run-heavy offense, this is a massive problem. And unfortunately, the organization didn't address this issue during the draft or in free agency. That means the burden is on Dak and the passing game to carry this offense. So what does this mean? It means Dak and CeeDee Lamb need to get on the same page, and fast. They're the key to keeping this offense alive. The chemistry between these two has been inconsistent, and it's hurting the team's ability to stay competitive in these games. On top of that, Mike McCarthy needs to get creative with his play calling and design some better route concepts to help our receivers get open. If the Cowboys stay one-dimensional, it's going to be an uphill battle for the rest of the season. Another major issue is the offensive line. This is crucial, especially if Dak is going to be expected to carry this team. The Cowboys have been struggling with continuity on the offensive line, and it's a big reason why the offense has been out of sync. Yes, we got 2 rookies in the starting lineup, and we knew there would be some growing pains, especially with them playing new positions. But we're now entering Week 8. At this point, some chemistry should have developed. The offensive line needs to improve, particularly in how they handle combination blocks. Right now, it's not good enough, and that's leading to relentless pressure on Dak. Mike Solari, our offensive line coach, has to step up and get this unit playing in sync. If the line can't protect Dak or open up lanes for the run game, we're going to continue seeing the same issues week after week. One stat that really stands out, and not in a good way, is how poorly the Cowboys have been scoring at the start of each half. So far, Dallas has only managed to score 9 points on opening drives and 16 points to start the second half. Compare that to our opponents, who have put up 30 points on their first possessions and 31 points to open the second half. This is a major concern because starting fast sets the tone for the entire game. When you look at elite teams in the league, they're able to come out of the gate strong and often put their opponents in an early hole. The Cowboys, on the other hand, have only managed to match their opponents' scoring at the start of a half twice this season. That's just not good enough. What needs to change? The team needs to improve its scripting of the first 15 plays of each half and make more effective adjustments at halftime. McCarthy and the offensive staff have to be better at designing plays that will create mismatches and get this offense going from the jump. If we can't score early, it puts even more pressure on Dak and the defense to play catch-up, which is a recipe for disaster. Looking ahead, the Cowboys are about to hit a tough stretch of games, and it's going to take everything they've got to come out with some wins. After the 49ers, we face the Atlanta Falcons, a team that's been surprising people with their resilience this season. Then we've got the Philadelphia Eagles, our division rivals who are playing at an elite level right now. Finally, we take on the Houston Texans, who may not look like much on paper, but have been playing with a lot of heart. If the Cowboys can't find a way to fix their offensive issues and become more consistent on both sides of the ball, it's going to be a tough road. These are games we need to win if we want to stay in the playoff hunt, but that means addressing these major concerns ASAP. So, Cowboys Nation, let's recap what we've learned. Dak Prescott needs to elevate his game to Superman levels because our rushing attack is non-existent. He and CeeDee Lamb need to figure out their chemistry, and fast. The offensive line must find some continuity. The rookies are learning, but it's time to step up and protect Dak. We need to start both halves of the game much better. Scoring early sets the tone, and the Cowboys simply aren't doing that right now. The play calling needs to improve, and adjustments at halftime have to be sharper. I want to hear from you, Cowboys fans. What are your thoughts on John Stevens' injury? Do you think he can come back stronger next season, or is this a devastating blow to his future with the team? And on the wide receivers, are you concerned about the route running and miscommunication, or do you think the bye week gave us enough time to fix these issues? Drop your opinions in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future updates. We've got a huge game ahead, and you know we'll be covering it right here. Thanks for watching, Cowboys Nation. Let's hope we see some improvements on the field this week. Go Cowboys!